The Whiskey Throttle Show, now available on the Spot Network, an independent, standalone streaming platform, live now on Apple TV, Roku, Amazon Fire, Google Play, Android TV, most smart TVs, and all phones and tablets. Look for future live shows and specials only available on Spot Network. Download the app today on your favorite device.
You had something about natural talent that you wanted to ask him, and I'm really interested in this.
Yeah, because over the years I've always seen you. I don't know if it's in interviews or whatever it is, but you're like, there's no natural talent. I don't believe in it or whatever. And I'm like, that's almost the most aggressive I've ever heard him talk about something. And I'm like, okay, well, whatever he believes in, it's obviously working. But I've always heard you say that, and I think it was the drums. You wanted to learn the drums. Mm-hmm. You're like, there's no natural talent. I'm gonna learn these drums, and he probably rips at the drums now. But
I don't. I haven't put the time in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you've always said that no natural talent thing.
Yeah, it's a huge argument that I've had. I have it with my oldest brother. I have it with people on the internet, and I'll throw it out there every once in a while, and that's when the comments start just going boom, 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 and like, you're wrong. What about so and so? Da da da. And I'm like, I'm sorry. This is how I feel, and you're not going to change the way I think. But I do not believe in natural talent at all. And the only reason why I say that is because, like someone had said it before, it really dumbs down the hard work and perseverance and suffering that a person goes through to be where they're at. Mm-hmm. And then they'll be like, well, what about so-and-so started at the same time as this guy, and he doesn't even try as hard, and this guy tries super hard, and this guy gets better, and he's not, this guy's just natural talent. I go, you're not that dude. You're not in his brain.
Yeah.
You don't know what he thinks. You don't know the pressures. Unless you're in his shoes, you will understand why he makes it look so easy, why he progresses faster than this other person. You cannot tell me that this person is trying harder than that person. How can you say that?
You don't know. Yeah.
There's a point where you guys are both on the same track, and you're going to look at a jump and you're going to be like, I'm not doing that today. And you're going to be like, I'll do that, no problem. Yeah. That's the difference.
Yeah.
That's why you're progressing further than him, or the vice versa, because of your mentality and the way you think. And fear has a lot to do with the lack of progression. Mm-hmm. Fear is what keeps you to that next level. And doesn't mean that this person's working harder than the other. This guy's just more courageous than you. He will take a risk more than this other person. I don't care how hard this person skates or rides every day. You can have the talent, right? But if you don't have the mindset, what's that?
Sorry, there's someone over in the shop over there.
If you don't have the mindset to say, I can do this and I will do this, I don't care how much work you put into something,
see, and it ain't going to happen. I'm with you on the no natural talent part, and it goes back to what he was saying about the sequence shot. Mm. See, I've always felt action sports, I'm a very visual learner in general, and I think the YouTube thing and just not having to put a VHS tape in, just to be able to see, these types of sports, they're so visionary. And so for me, like you said, being in that guy's head, if I could see it, I could kind of do it and break it down. So I think even going back to that sequence shot of Eddie, to whatever, just being able to see it. And so I'm kind of with him. Now, when it comes to drums and things like that, I cannot watch a guy pound away at some drums or a guitar. So that to me is just focusing and learning. But I think with the action sports stuff, there's a reason why they're studying video after every practice. It's just to be able to see it. You could look at segment times all day or whatever else, or be it, but to be able to look and watch and break it down, whatever these top athletes do, I think it's a lot of visionary. Yeah. That 50%.
Right.
Of the Joe Rogan thing,
And you don't, you're not in someone's,
I'm with you.
You don't live with someone's regimen. You're not in their head 24/7. You don't know what they think, breathe. James Stewart, perfect example. A guy that set in his mind to be, I'm going to be the best motocross racer in the world, out of all the odds against him. I heard rumors that he would just watch videos all the time, go to sleep with videos playing. He's sleeping and there's motocross videos playing. I mean, who does that? You know? That's why he became the best at the time, because he was willing to risk, you know, everything for it. And he set in his mind saying, like, I'm going to beat Ricky Carmichael. I'm going to be better than Jerry McGrath. I look up to these guys, but I'm going to be better than them. So that mindset of saying that this is what you're going to do, that's what gets you there. When you have the mindset of, like, going to an art gallery and go, like, wow, that's a crazy painting. I could never paint like that. Well, you're never going to paint like that.
You just sealed your fate.
Right?
Yeah.
So everything that I do, I tell myself that this is what I'm going to do. Now, if I don't accomplish it, no big deal. I wanted to do it. I maybe came close, but what kept me from going there? That was fear. Fear didn't make me progress to that next level. So I try to live a life that I'll put myself in an uncomfortable situation and overcome it, and then I'm like, okay, I'm going to put myself in another uncomfortable situation and just keep doing that until I'm comfortable in any situation that I'm put in. You know, years ago I would never come on a podcast and start talking, and you know, I was the shyest dude in high school.
Really?
Oh yeah, I would never go up in class and do speech class. I was so scared, my lip would be twitching, you know, everything.
Go to the nurse. Like, I don't feel good. Go to the nurse.
Anxiety, you know, but the more you do something, the more you get confident. And then when people applaud you, it goes like, wow, you know, I'm getting pretty good at this, you know, and then that just helps build the blocks of being courageous.
Maybe that's the answer to the naysayers. That's unnatural. Maybe the natural talent is, you know, kind of having that drive within James to have the videos on, because maybe that isn't the natural part, you know, because then he goes and does the work and figures out how to be better than his heroes. But maybe that's the answer to
talent
the naysayers.
Has to be earned. You know? You're not given talent.
Yes.
Right.
Opportunity can be given to you.
Yeah.
Maybe he's got natural opportunities. Who knows?
Or a natural drive.
Natural drive.
Inside. Maybe it's from your parents, a grandparent, somebody that you looked up to, but you just get this drive.
Yeah, I don't know where it comes from. Yeah. It just depends on how hungry you are. You know, when we eat, we go look for food. You know, I'm hungry for other things. You know, I'm hungry for success.
Cab salad.
You know.
I love that, man. I'm super fascinated by the whole nature versus nurture thing. And when Chad Reed was on the show, he said, champions are born, they're not made. So he was the other way. He goes, I think you're either born like a winner, a competitor, or you're not.
No, sorry, Chad, you're wrong.
Let's call him.
I think it's fascinating. I mean,
I highly disagree, Chad Reed.
I think that you can be born with certain physical traits, like maybe both of your parents were high-level athletes. Look at Tomac. Both of his parents were high-level mountain bike racers. Maybe he's got some physical attributes from that because they're both athletes. Maybe he's got a high VO2 max. Maybe, you know, some other things that might be beneficial to. Really, he could have done any sport, right?
Or maybe,
but still, yeah. Or maybe the parents just brought him up as an athlete. I don't know. I find it really interesting. I don't have the answers, but I think
that's why I jotted that down.
You're the first one I've ever heard to say no.
I didn't have parents that did anything that I do.
Yeah.
I didn't have brothers that did anything that I do, so I can't blame it on genetics.
Yeah. That's fascinating. I that's amazing.
Yeah. Maybe I'll blame it on my parents spoiling me with toys. Maybe that got me to want to be good at everything, is that they just spoiled me with anything that I wanted.
No, it was that BMX race.
You were an evil Knievel guy, dude.
Evil Knievel and the flat BMX start and that guy.
No, you know what? You know what it is? Maybe it was just wanting acceptance. You know, wanting to be appreciated for something. That's what it is. It's wanting to be good at something that people go like, yeah, you're special. You know,
that's cool.
Maybe that's it.
I mean, it's cool that you say that. You know, that you're just, you know, honest.
Well,
honest with it.
And I think whether it's whatever your drive is, you have to be driven. It's all about drive, right? You know, I always tell my kids, improvement lies just outside your comfort zone. You're not going to get any better just staying comfortable. So you have to want it, and then you have to be willing to get over your fear, face your fear, push past where you're comfortable.
You have to be hungry.
Yeah.
I would say you have to have a hunger, because obviously if you're full, you're not going to go out to go eat. You're full. right? But if you're hungry, you're going to go search. Where can I go eat? You know?
And so you still think that's nurture, like the way that you're raised will shape that drive or that hunger. You know what I mean? Like if you have
people
parents,
are just not hungry, man.
Well, no, and listen,
They're full and content.
This is interesting because you'll see a lot of professional athletes in any sport, but even ours. Look at Ricky, James. They were very poor. Yeah. They came from very poor families. I don't mean that in a bad way. I'm just saying they weren't given.
Well, they've said that. They've made that.
Yeah, they didn't have every opportunity given to them. I don't want to throw anyone under the bus that is on the other side of the fence, but like let's say a wealthy family, you don't see a lot of those kids being really successful in our sport anyway, and I think a lot of sports because everything's kind of come easy to them, you know.
Well, maybe just the appreciation is in there, but you can't blame opportunity for success. I mean, it does help in some sense, and then maybe some guys have to work harder for it, but you still have to work hard.
You want it, yeah.
And I always believe that life's not fair, and some people just have to work harder than others. That's just the way it is.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, I mean, it's a fascinating subject.
It is.
I think that there's definitely a little bit of both. I think there are, to your point, I think some people are blessed with better genetics. I mean, there's just you can't argue that. Genetics change from person to person. But I think any of it can be overcome with what you're saying. If you've got the drive and you're willing to put the time in and you want it.
Yeah.
You know, we've all seen stories of people who, hell, look at Ricky. I mean,
you could be
that
good.
man is not a physical specimen.
No.
And I'm not bagging on Ricky. I love Ricky. But
you can be good at something doesn't mean that you have to be the best at it.
Yeah.
Just driven.
You can be good at something.
Sure.
You don't have to be the best.
But I think Ricky is a great example of nature versus nurture because I don't think he's got the genetics to be an Olympic athlete, right? And that's not a bag. Like I said, I love Ricky.
No, he just worked his ass off.
He wanted it, man. Yeah. He wanted it bad, period. And he worked for it. He worked harder than anybody. And he's the best our sport's ever seen.
Yeah.
So I think you can't ignore that in the nature versus nurture argument, you know. But I will look at like a Ron Lachine and go, okay, this guy didn't do a lot of work.
You don't know that though.
Comparatively.
You weren't in his body. You didn't know what he...
I'm saying comparatively. This is a guy who would admittedly go to take his girlfriend to prom on a Friday night or Saturday night at El Cajon, get hammered drunk, get on a red eye, fly to Southwick, miss practice, go out the first moto and stomp everybody.
You know why? He's fearless.
Yeah, it's his brain.
Okay, look at James Stewart. Okay, all 40 riders had the same track. He looked at the track differently. He's, I'm going to quad this. Oh, you guys are going to triple it. I'm going to quad it. What makes him any different? Courage. He had more courage than all those fools.
Wow. I love that take.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Was he naturally talented with courage? I doubt it.
Courage is a for sure. That's a guarantee.
Skill.
With that,
it was
like
skill.
you said with that take.
So I use the same mentality. You know, I'll look at something and I'll depend on that day whether I want to jump it or not. But if I feel up to it, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
It's the risk over the reward.
Yeah.
That's what separates the men from the boys.
And those are the few things that stand out with my personal relationship with you is just always seeing you. There's been times you did a jump before me. Not that it shouldn't. Your courage, and the drive that he had.
Oh, it's you that was telling me that. That's right.
I'm like, you got to be kidding me. And I guess that's that competitive nature that we all carry with us.
For sure.
But I'm not kidding. This guy's the trip to me, because just seeing him still practicing whips when we go ride. I stopped trying to whip a long time ago, and he still just wants to do it, So
and they've taken it to the next level, right?
And his thought process is what makes you interesting to me, and it's really it's cool. That question.
I love that question. No, I love it. I was excited.
I'm glad you brought it up because it's a heavy topic and it's something that's misleading, And I'm sorry that I disagree and I put people in a weird position, but that's how I feel, and I'm going to stand by it till the day I die.
Yeah, no, it's cool, and I think we're the type of sports, if you just want to label them sports, that bring that out. That's not a stick and ball thing. It's not. And I don't bring it up or talk about it to put people down.
It's an encouragement.
Sure.
It's to let people know that, you know what, you are just as great as the other person.
Yeah, you can do it if you want it and you're willing to put the work in and you're not afraid. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You might not be number 1, but number 2 is okay. Number 3 is okay. You might not be the best, but you will get to a point where it's like, you know what? This other 100 people won't go here. Mm-hmm. And he's in 3rd. You know, you might not be number 1, but man, I'm in 3rd place out of 40 guys that went to the track that day. That's pretty good. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? You got to be happy with that.
Sure.
It's always great to be on the podium and be number 1, but, you know, it takes a special person to have that drive and keep that drive. And I think a lot of the motocross racers have a mental breakdown when they're out there. So I think Eli's a perfect example, you know. I think Roxon at the moment is like that. Mm-hmm. You know, I don't see him taking chances. You know, I see a lot of guys getting close and banging, you know, and the guys banging bars with other people are the guys that want it. The guys that are playing it safe and don't want to get hurt, and they're going to stay where they're at. But I think that, you know, to be honest, I think Cooper Webb is running away with this title because Roxon doesn't want it as bad as Cooper. You know, I could be wrong, but that's what I see.
Yeah.
You know, by his writing. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
Actions speak louder than words. You can see
pedigree.
it.
Yeah, the pedigree.
Yeah.
It's kind of starting to become fact.
But then Roxon in his mind is probably going like, you know, what does Cab know? Like, I do want it. Well, you're not showing me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't see you getting close to Webb. I don't see like the last race that we just watched was probably the most boring 450 main that I've seen. They started out 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, and they ended 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. Yeah. No one, you know,
Dallas
Eli,
too. Yeah.
Eli got a little close, but then it got backed away. But you know, Webb 1st, Eli 2nd, Roxon 3rd from the start, and it finished like that. There was no, you know what I mean? And boring. I don't know. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I'm not at that level, so I don't know.
Sometimes you can try your best, though, and like you said, you're not as good as that other guy. And I don't know that that's true with Eli or Kenny. Maybe they had a bad night. There's a million things that it could have been, but I think in the last 5 or 6 races, you've seen a momentum shift where Kenny went from he's the man to Cooper. Now Cooper's got the momentum and like Denny Stevenson even said, he goes, Roxon needs to go and smash into Cooper and let him know, I'm not letting you just take this.
Right.
Like, I'm going to fight for it.
Yeah.
Well, here's another thing, too. I don't see how guys get a bad start and they work there all the way up to like maybe 2nd or 3rd, but they can't get to that next level to win. It's like, how did you pass all these other dudes and catch the guy that's leading, but you can't pass him? Mm. You know how long it took to get, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like
passing slower guys to be, you know, obviously he's out
but
front.
Still, I mean, if he's way back here and he caught 1st place to here, how come he can't just pass 1st place?
Yeah.
He caught up to him. Yeah. That's got to be pretty fast,
there's
right?
There's a lot of facets to that, obviously, redlining for that long. And
you could be physically tired.
And the leader managing the race. That's leader managing as well. You know, maybe he gets up there, okay, wick it up a little bit.
But we have seen, earlier this season, you did see Kenny catch Cooper and then not be able to do anything with him and then fall back off.
That's the dog.
That's what I'm saying.
That's the dog in Cooper, I feel like.
There's only one person in Supercross
his pedigree
that has ever excited me the most was James Stewart. Mm-hmm. Crash at the start, pass 1st place. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's exciting.
But I think kind of what Cab was saying with Kenny, obviously Kenny's amazing. I mean, he's top level. There's no reason why he still could not win this championship. But I think to what you said, I think Cooper's pretty good, and this is going to sound bad, but pretty good at getting 2nds and 3rds and managing the championship and using that as that drive. Mm-hmm. And I think obviously with Ken, I think it's hard for him, especially after being on top like that, to get those 2nds and 3rds and 4s. Something's wrong, something's happening, or something like that.
The 2nds and 3rds affect him mentally.
Not realizing he's beating the 17 others or 16 others, what Cab was saying. I think that's relevant. You know, hey, Kenny, like, you still beat some bad dudes, you know? Like,
it's just, I mean, I don't know how skating was. Maybe you can kind of talk about that mental side of skating, because with moto, there's a million different things that from one race to the next that can get in your head. You get this inner monologue going of, oh man, Cooper's just, he's stronger. He wants, you know, I don't know what's going on in Kenny's head, but I know for me, when I was racing, I mean, it was a constant battle of, trying to control my inner monologue. Like, no, you got this. You can do it. And then, oh, no, you can't. You know, you're going to be, what about this? Don't get hurt. Your knees are jacked up. Man, your brain will just ruin you if you let it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that at that level, that's, in our sport, it is absolutely the determining factor, your mental.
Let me ask you this. I'm going to ask you this. It's like, in my mind, I never was like Loretta's kid and this and that, just racing Carlsbad and local stuff. But I've always kind of looked at, like, we're kind of a boxing type family. And it seems like most boxers, they just never lose. I don't know if you look at their records and whatnot. They never lose. Once they lose 1, 2, 3 times, they're kind of done.
Yeah.
That's how it is. I've always looked at, like, motocross race, high level. They never really lost very often. You know, so you look at a Cameron McAdoo who, you know, didn't have the best stuff, wasn't always winning, and now he's like winning, you know. But you look at these kids coming up in our sport, especially the last 10, 15 years, it's like they're coming from just being winners. Mm-hmm. There's not a lot of rides. So you're literally just hand-picking the McElrath. Like, whoa, okay, McElrath out of nowhere. Now he's on TLD. And I mean, they're literally like, and I'm asking you this. It's like, is it just because they never really lost often, so they don't know how to lose? I feel like you have to know how to lose in dirt bike racing at this level.
I think,
you know,
there might be some of that where a loss really affects you when you turn pro. I'll tell you this. Once you turn pro, most of the guys that are good that got rides won a lot. They won a lot as an amateur.
Yeah.
And you hit pro racing, and the wins stop for most people. There's only a few guys getting wins. And so you have to be able to mentally take that in and go, all right.
You beat 16 people.
That's it. And
Seriously.
if you go, oh,
and you have to have good people
I'm not there.
If
you mentally get beat, you'll never get there. You've got to be like a McAdoo or whatever, where you're like, okay, well, I got 10th this week. All right, so next week I'm gonna be inside the top 10. Then I'm gonna be top 5.
Cincerillo beat Cooper, his whole amateur career, you know. And but yeah, I think it's just if you don't know how to lose and realize that you're still kicking ass.
Yeah.
You know, and the time is now. You worked all this time, and now you're here. You know,
is skating the same way?
Skating, for me, if I lost in a competition, I would analyze why I lost and what could I do the next one to better myself. And I used it as a motivation to place higher. I mean, once you get to a certain point, the only way you could do is go up. But once you get to the top, the other place is to go down.
Yeah, that's the only direction to go.
So I feel that it's easier to reach the top in a sport, but to maintain that is a lot harder, because once you start celebrating your winnings and where you're at, you lose focus on all the other dudes coming up wanting to be where you're at. So it takes a special person to not get bored of being on top and to stay hungry. And I'm going to always resort back to staying hungry. It's like I always tell people and kids, and I even tell the women in skateboarding, it's like, don't start partying once you get here. Like, this is where you have to work the hardest. I always feel like once you win, you need to be at the track or at the park learning new tricks for the next competition, because that's what these people are doing. So always stay hungry. Always stay hungry, and that's when you'll maintain and you'll have this long career, and you won't be a rider that just makes it here and then he just starts to go down. You know, and maybe Carmichael and McGrath always stayed hungry, that no one was able to take that away from them. And Tony Hawk is a perfect example of staying hungry. Is if you watch his interviews and stuff, after he was done competing, playing it safe with tricks that he could do, way harder tricks that he would do in competition, but he'd only do the tricks in competition that would keep him on his board. You don't want to do, like, there's some skaters that are amazingly talented, but they don't have these tricks wired. So they'll take them to competition and they'll fall and they'll get last, but they're gnarly. Danny Way is a perfect example of an athlete that was so progressive and so talented that he didn't know how to dumb down his skating to be competitive with it and to just make a run. Because just a basic run of his could beat all these other dudes, but his mind was always thinking, I want to be better, I want to be the best. And if you're not prepared to use these talents you have in this arena without falling, because falling is huge in skating. You only have
contest skating, obviously.
Contest skating. If you only have, like, well, we used to have 45 seconds. Now they've dumbed it down to like 30 seconds. The kids have it a little bit more made. They don't have to skate as long. But if you don't stay on your board, you'd get docked points. So you want to do the best you can by being consistent. And especially like if you're racing, if you crash, you fall back. You want to stay consistent.
So Stewart would be kind of like a Danny Way.
Exactly.
Super fun to watch, super dynamic, do things that you just blow your mind. But Dungey was the guy who not dumbed it down, I don't know if that's the right word, but backed it down just enough to just be right there every single race.
I think that's how he won that title, is just with his consistency, and he never he didn't win that many races in that series, right? But he won the title.
The first year, or which one?
With that rookie season when he won.
Yeah.
Still going fast. I think that's the one thing we all, props to Dungey, we all realize he's going really fast.
Dude, I think he's the smart.
Fast,
I loved watching James ride.
Nothing
like
him.
you said, your jaw would be on the floor.
Yeah.
But if you're looking at Dungey now, I don't ever think he got hurt.
He did.
So he played it safe.
Remember that? And he rode with it.
This guy's got
that drive,
30 whatever, no aches and pains, millions in the bank. He's a legend, an icon in our sport. Yeah. He did it right.
He did.
But then he probably wants to be back in racing.
Yeah. No, he totally does.
From Minnesota, only rode half the year. Just had that different drive. If we go back, he wasn't riding all year long.
Yeah, I think a lot of people who reach the top and they're happy with what they get and then they quit. I think they have regrets of why did I quit? I had it so good. I've met a lot of skaters like that. A lot of the skaters that when I grew up skating, when I got to their level, pro, they all left and quit skating. Yeah. And I'm like, why these guys? I worked my butt off to get to compete against you, and now you're not here anymore. Where'd you go? They got either girlfriends or I don't know.
They weren't hungry anymore.
They weren't hungry.
Weren't hungry.
They're hungry.
Stay hungry, my friends.
Yeah.
We need to make a T-shirt with Cab like the
Stay hungry.
Dos Exies guy.
Oh wow. Okay.
That'll be the new Throttle Jockey shirt.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Thanks for watching the Whiskey Throttle Show. Don't forget to like and subscribe and click the bell to get alerts for all the latest content. Follow us on Twitter at W_Throttle_Show and on TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram at Whiskey Throttle Show.